Hey everyone, it's Peta with La Charm, and we'll be talking about generational cycles as it relates to parenting and how it's important that we create our own path as we go on this journey to really shift the way our children experience life and how our children experience our parent-child relationship. Oftentimes we think about I turned out okay, or you think about, or we all think about different things like the only way for us to be able to achieve discipline is with an iron fist. Dating back to colonization, where if you didn't whip someone into shape, they wouldn't really do what it is that they were being told. For too long, we have allowed this concept or this mindset, this act, this way of life to seep into our parent-child relationship. And I have a thought-provoking concept for you, right? And that is, it's not only the child that loses. I want you to realize how important it is to make this shift and to walk away from some of the generational cycles that are actually still causing you trauma. You literally relive your trauma day after day after day as you repeat that cycle. And what I want you to realize is that it also keeps you stuck. So as you continue to live and to perpetuate these generational cycles of spanking, of being extremely harsh, of corporal punishment, of not allowing your child to flourish from an emotional perspective, you are also stunted. Your emotional growth, your emotional revolution is also stagnant. You are not making any advances even as your own self-growth. So a lot of times in our culture, we find that if you're doing financially well, or if you have made a mark in the corporate space, that you feel as though you have arrived, or not really arrived, but you have evolved rather, and you have come above or rose above the pain and the suffering from your childhood. But what I want to share with you is that if you have not addressed that directly, if you have not come from a space where you have deep self-love, where you are enjoying life from its most natural place, where you can sit and be alone, and if you were stripped of all of your money and all of your accolades right now, you would still feel good inside. If you're not at that place, you still have work to do. And as I always say, you cannot gift someone something you do not have. So if your ultimate goal is to make your child happy, or your ultimate goal is to give your child some semblance of self-acceptance, self-esteem, confidence, self-love, if you don't do the work to really break away from some of those generational cycles that keep you stuck, you will never be able to gift that to your child. So I want you to bear that in mind. If you do not have self-love, self-acceptance, self-reliance, just that deep connection with yourself, you will pass on and continue the generational cycle of not passing that on to your child. So if that is a goal, a dream, a hope of yours, I suggest that today you start the work to pull yourself away from generational cycles. And you can choose them one cycle at a time. Now, I'll give you a quick example of a generational cycle that, because you're like, well, Peta, what are generational cycles really? And I'll start with one that's pretty granular, and it's really the ability to express your emotions. When you welled up to cry, or if you cried when you were younger, were you told, if you cry, I'll give you something to cry about? Or you better dry those tears, or what are you crying for? But not from a space of, what are you crying for? How may I help you? How can I be of assistance? How can I guide you through this? That was not the angle that you were asked. Our tears affected our parents. Like, our tears was almost an insult to them. So you've managed to live your life feeling like you have to keep your emotions in because it is going to affect the other person. And so you walked around suppressing those emotions, right? Here's a quick fix. Here's something you can turn the switch on right now regarding your child. Just put yourself in your kid's position. Put yourself back in that shoe of that 7-year-old, that 6-year-old child, and you are crying in your mind's eye. And just think about actually approaching it from a different perspective. So you were told, what are you crying for? You better dry those tears. Now I want you in your mind's eye to just walk it back and say to yourself as a child, as your 5-year-old self, okay, sweetie, I understand how you feel. It's okay to express your emotions. When you're ready to talk it over, I want to hear what you have to say. And I want you to go back to that child state and express yourself. I want you to share what it is that you're really feeling, because you had a lot to share. And I want you to try this process moving forward with your kids, because I know that after you do that exercise, deep down inside, you're going to wish that that's how it was handled and that's how you were spoken to. And little by little, these are ways that we break generational cycles, one cycle at a time. I don't expect for you to take it all on at once, but one cycle at a time, we can address them and we can break them and we can develop and create the parent-child relationship of your dreams and the parent-child relationship that allows your child to be their highest and best self.